Heavy machines aren't supposed to fail like this. This isn't about brute force. It's about engineering, recovery skills, and knowing when to stop pushing. Let's take a closer look at what really happens when heavy equipment meets mud, ice, and human error. That was a stupid decision. If he had reversed instead of pushing forward, the whole situation would have been solved much faster. That rope never looked safe to begin with. So honestly, I'm not surprised it snapped. Trying again with a proper cable was the only logical move. This terrain isn't that difficult to drive on. The real issue here is the tires, they're simply too stiff. Lower pressure would have increased the contact patch and improved traction significantly. People say it can't be done. Watch closely as a seasoned recovery team turns a muddy disaster into a clean success. Every move, every decision is precise and calculated. The Cat D9R is back on solid ground, once again proving that experience and teamwork beat brute force every time. When floodwaters threatened the site, two Sani 200C excavators moved in perfect sync. Like brothers locked in formation, their steady arms and fine control lifted the mud-covered Blomax roller to safety. This wasn't just machine work, it was a rescue operation powered by hydraulics and human nerve. Amsterdam is known as the bicycle capital of the world, with more bikes than people. But each year, around 15,000 bicycles end up in the canals from accidents, slippery streets, vandalism, and theft. Removing them isn't just about cleanup. These operations ensure the bikes are recycled, waterways stay clear, and boat traffic flows safely. Watch this Ford F350 Power Stroke take on a 12-degree hill. Impressive on its own, but the 120-degree turn makes it clear this truck was built for the challenge. No modern branding, no fancy dashboard. This blue rig is a quiet beast, built by local mechanics with one goal: raw pulling power. Inch by inch, it drags a multi-ton excavator out of thick mud. No rushing, no drama, just unstoppable traction. When the D7G rolled over, it looked like game over. But the D7E wasn't finished. With raw torque and flawless control, it executed a textbook recovery. Two legends. One dramatic save. If this isn't power in motion, nothing is. Here we have a tiger cat buried deep in mud, pushed too far. The challenge is pulling it out without making things worse. This is a delicate recovery, deep in chaos. Will it work? Watch closely. That container was simply too heavy for the crane to handle. Thankfully, the operator got out safely before it went down. They beat the Valtra, but the match wasn't fair. Both tractors should have had front weights, or neither should have. Let's see a rematch with proper balance. It's impressive watching a Kamaz dominate muddy roads with sheer authority. Oh damn, I'm slipping. The John Deere forwarder sits helpless, swallowed by a frozen swamp deep in the forest. The operator misjudged the soft ground beneath the snow. With tons of timber on board and zero traction left, hope now depends on high torque pulling from a powerful loader. This isn't just a rescue, it's a war against the swamp. Forget superheroes. Watch this excavator pull itself free. You can feel the power through the screen. It takes 1 second to buckle a seatbelt. That second can save your life in moments like this. Roman rushed through the snow after hearing his cable layer teammate was in trouble. When he arrived, the yellow DET-400 was nearly swallowed by a frozen ditch. Its massive blade only made things worse, sinking deeper with every move. The ground gave way, cables tightened, and the recovery turned into a full-scale battle. Even the most skilled bulldozer operators risk sliding off trailers when tracks lack grip. Loading heavy machinery on slick surfaces leaves zero room for error. One wrong move, and disaster follows. In a brutal test of force, the Kirovet's K701 went head-to-head with a military-grade tracked recovery vehicle. Despite roaring at full power, rubber tires were no match for tank-grade tracks. Once again, weight and grip decided the outcome. This guy actually brought his tractor into a tug-of-war competition. Bold move. Using a snatch strap on a drawbar, brilliant idea. Truly genius. If you like broken equipment, in the thick Russian mud, the Chi-Chi Z130 lost power to its tracks, but the crew didn't flinch. A welder fired up, hands deep in mud and grease. Teamwork roared louder than the engine, and just like that, the old beast came back to life. With mud thick as concrete, this Dilo tractor and its fearless driver took on a job no one else dared, dragging a fully loaded Leyland truck out of a swamp 4 kilometers with no winch, no backup, just diesel torque, soaked boots, and brotherhood forged in grit and determination.